Hey, gang. I think I'm on. Yeah, there we go. Hey, what's happening? Happy Wednesday. Oh, I messed up with my camera. Hold on. Hold on. Just a quick adjustment. There we are. That's good enough. I'm probably better off foggy. Wednesday. Translating Trump, and boy, does it seem like somebody's speaking a foreign language. So a translation might not be a bad idea. First of all, it's 11:03 here on the East Coast, 8:03 out on the West Coast, 4:03 p.m. in London, 17:03 in Berlin, Gaza, 18:03 in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, Kyiv, and Moscow. We'll be talking about Moscow today. 11:04 p.m. in Australia, Perth, Australia, and 2:04 in Melbourne and Sydney. Today's Translating Trump, and with us as always, Philip Lackett, our resident Trump translator. That is not a good setup. There we go. What's happening? How's everything?
I don't know if that's a setup question here. Just want to make sure I don't get any backhanded, blindsided jabs here.
No.
Outside of that, I'm fine. Happy Liberation Day to you.
Yes, and I think yesterday was pretty much a split too. Big election in Wisconsin that went, even though neither one was actually apparently registered, like Republican Democrat, it went to the more liberal candidate / anti-Trump. And then down here where you and I are at in Florida, there were two special elections. One to replace what is he, the National Security Advisor? The guy in District 6, Waltz. He was a congressman for District 6, stepped down to be Trump's National Security Advisor, and many reasons to have stepped down out in District 1.
Your favorite.
Yeah, I miss him. Kind of.
What is he doing now?
I don't know. I was wondering. He was at one of the polling places because I saw him on the news. Okay. And that, of course, in case somebody's trying to figure out who we're talking about, that's Matt Gaetz, congressman from the 1st District out near Pensacola, up on the westernmost portion of the Panhandle. And in fact, a lot of people don't know this. They're actually Central Time. They're not Eastern. But he stepped down to be the Attorney General, and then stepped down from that, and would have kind of possibly, I mean, we'll never know, obviously, but would have possibly stepped down from being a congressman anyway when it was decided that his ethics investigation was actually going to be released. And as it was. So Matt Gaetz has been replaced. I keep wanting to say, Mike, what is Waltz's? And this is the one with the T. I saw a Trump supporter on Facebook spell it WALZ. And I'm like, nope, you got the wrong one, kiddo.
Wrong one. Yeah, that's why I got confused. I was like, are we talking about the same guy here?
Yeah. Well, no, but we're talking about the similar enough last name. Waltz with a T, Z, is the National Security Advisor. And if you get lazy with the spelling and just put ALZ and no T in it, that's the Minnesota governor that was the vice presidential candidate up until last November. So both Republican victories here, no surprise.
2 for 2.
But the silver lining for the left is that both leads were significantly cut from November till now. Meaning that if you look how handedly Trump won those districts compared to the victory of the respective Republican candidates, it was actually cut in half, roughly. I know District 6 was cut in half, and I know District 1 was also not close. To be clear, both Republican candidates won with confidence, but not nearly as well or as strong as what now President Trump won back in November. Wow, that was painful saying. I actually used the title with him. I don't usually say that. I don't usually say the P word with the T name, but I got to at least occasionally be respectful.
Well, it tends to be. It depends on which P word you're referring to, Ross.
Oh yeah, I could easily call him a prick. See how easy that happened?
I just set them up and you deliver.
Oh yeah, we're professionals here at Up the Middle. Speaking of professionals, we even have merch. I have my Philip Blackett coffee mug. I don't know if you can really see that. It's new.
It's kind of blurred, but it's okay.
Yeah. I got to set up the. I switched cameras a couple months ago, and I haven't reconfigured the settings in this one to match what used to be on the desk here. And that one had this setting where you could go back and forth for product display, like I just did. So it would automatically refocus.
Oh, okay.
On what's up front, and then refocus more quickly back to me. But yeah, I was. It was right before a show, right before an episode, and I couldn't get any video to work.
I'm liking the rating you have above your picture. Rated R. This is the first time I'm seeing that.
Yeah, I've had it up a couple times before. That is, it's a rated R rating. For those of you on radio and trying to figure out what he's talking about, the background that I've switched to is a movie of the blowing American flag. Of course, in the blue space of sky, I put two of our most recent hashtags: free speech and fight fast. I can't do it again. When I put that up this week, I did fight fascism. There, I did it. I could not pronounce that to save my life.
I'm sure it'd be easier to pronounce if you change it to fight, fight, fight. That'd be easier.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm laughing at myself as I'm trying to pronounce this, so that's making it worse. Now I can't do it at all. And so I did the whole step away, come back later. No, still can't pronounce fascism after saying it with the word fight. But that's the hashtag that I'm encouraging our viewers and listeners to use. But then in the other corner is we've got what are called watermarks that we can put up there, and or logos, like we can use. I put this one up recently, our new coin. That is the Mastiff Media logo.
The dog coin, not Doge coin, but the dog coin.
Well, it's the play on words of sorts. In that, of course, Doge and what's the other one? Shiba Inu are two now popular cryptocurrencies. And so Mastiff Media, and the fact that this haul started from the Doggy Traders, which was a day trading and crypto show, we made our logo into what looks like a penny coin. And then, of course, Restream provides us with if Russia stops fighting, there will be no war. If Ukraine stops fighting, there will be no Ukraine.
Of course, what happens if they both stop fighting?
Probably a stalemate, because we know Russia's not going to give up the additional land that they've illegally taken. But at least it's going to be some reprieve. And then our old Mastiff Media logo, that's Matrix on the left. He's right here. And that is the late Moby on the right, passed away a little under 2 years ago.
Mm.
And then the Yerg's Radio logo, and then Restream, it says you can always use ours. If you have the free version, then you will use theirs. And then, of course, today's rated R.
Read it.
Adult content not appropriate for minors or adults with large sticks up their ass. We'll be talking about that later, too. I hope you're still around for that. I'm trying, as you know, we are expanding. And one more shout out to our newest addition to the Mastiff Media Network. On Monday, we began with DNR Studios. We now have our first subscription platform, a part of the team. Now, obviously, you can still get us for free somewhere else, but I still at least recommend you consider going to dnrstudios.com and checking out DNR Studios. They have plenty of other shows that are really good, and I highly recommend. And also a travel agency. In fact, Derek and Romaine, the namesake of DNR, Derek and Romaine are on a cruise right now across the Atlantic. They are about, probably halfway across the Atlantic right now. Then, in addition to the travel agency, they also have like recipes and other blogs and definitely different things to check out. So do that. Go to dnrstudios.com, our newest affiliate, a part of the Mastiff Media Network. Also, Radio X in Perth, Australia. We've been with them for probably about a month or two now, probably. We added 2 other shows with them following us. In about an hour and 45 minutes will be Sportcat and the Daily Gazette. And then 2 hours after that, I'll be back with Mastiff Media Magazine, the news show that takes up an hour worth of news, followed by their morning show is now also on in the afternoon here on Yerg's Radio. So Mates Helping Mates, breakfast edition, their first hour will be with Yerg's Radio. And also, of course, Radio X. We're also on the Biz Growth Collective. You can go to that you can check that out by going to, I think I can find a thing here for it. No, I don't have one. What the hell? What's up? Oh, no, there it is. It's a QR code. Go to bizgrowthcollective.com. That's like the new, I highly recommend this for you, Philip. This is like the new LinkedIn.
Okay.
They're in beta. So they're down here in Florida, and they're in beta here in Florida, and they're developing. They've got almost like 2,000 companies in it already. I mean, there's stuff here from like the Nature Coast, little small businesses that I didn't think would be a part of it yet, and they are. So it's growing really quickly.
Okay.
One of the things they have is a chat room, and the graphics of it is an actual room, like a lecture hall meets student union room where you go to study and burger and whatever. There's tables, there's paired chairs, with a coffee table in between, and there's a stage. And if you're placed on the stage by the people from Biz Growth Collective, everybody in the room hears your lecture. If you're sitting at a cocktail table with one other chair, you can also hear the person that's sitting in the other chair. But nobody else in the room.
Right.
Then they've got tables of 4, 6, 8. There's a big table in the middle that's got like 20 seats at it. So there's that one. And then again, you can hear everybody at your table. So if there's like a campaign that joins the room and they're listening to me, they can all sit at that big 20-person table, talk to each other, but then also, listen to what I'm saying if I'm on the stage. So it's a cool setup. And they help you if you're starting a business. They help you with licensing if you don't have it already, which you will need to be a part of it, which I thought was good because LinkedIn just lets anybody on. You want to do what's quote unquote business networking. And that's how I got kicked off last fall. I complained multiple times that people are posting political things and opinionated stuff. It's not what business networking is for.
You know what my favorite is?
What's
When someone posts and they start with the preamble, the preface that, hey, I know LinkedIn is normally for business posts only,
right,
but I
right.
want to celebrate my wedding anniversary here.
Well, no, they'll say stupid political stuff. What is in my coffee?
Right. But I'm concerned about how the election is coming out and how it's going to impact my employees or my family and that sort. That's
What,
like,
and that's fine if you're going to have something that is still business related. Like these tariffs are great or they suck or whatever. And here's why, because it's doing this, that, and the other thing to my business. What is it doing to yours? Okay. That is a business discussion. But when all you want to do is say, MAGA 2024 and he's awesome or whatever, and you throw out some quote unquote stat that Kellyanne Conway taught us was called alternative facts. Ugh.
do you miss her?
And I kind of miss her too, because obviously the comedic relief. I don't miss having to protect her. She was a poo-poo sandwich of the highest level.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think about
Uh,
that.
I'll never forget. We're standing at the Delta counter at Reagan Airport, and she is going to deliver a speech somewhere. And in the process, she's going to make a stop somewhere in the Midwest to go to a friend's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So she's making these people that are paying her to come deliver this speech,
Mm-hmm.
buy her a first class ticket to the
To
wedding,
go.
and then to off to the speech. It's like, say, like right now it's 11:20. We're standing at the counter, at the Delta counter, at the VIP counter. Flight board's at 11:30, and we have not bought said ticket.
Oh.
So there we are, trying to get this lady to, and that's something I would do in advance as the airport agent. I would go to Delta, say, hey, you have this person. Here's her real name. It's Kellyanne Conway. You know, um, can I get everything? And they know who I am, and so that they know what we're doing. So they'll get all that. Well, they didn't even have it purchased yet. So we go to pay for the ticket, and she whips out a piece of paper from her purse with a 16-digit credit card written on it, and the person's name and the expiration date of the card and the 3-digit code. The detail leader and I look at each other, and he says to her, he says, this is what we arrest people for, right? And I'm like, yeah. What are we supposed to do here? And well, I mean, legally, it was actually legal because she had the permission.
All right. It was authorized at
use
least.
it.
Mm-hmm.
It was an authorized purchase, but putting all that information in the same place, not smart at all. Vintage Kellyanne Conway. One of the probably many reasons why she and George are no longer together. I digress.
That's a great story.
LinkedIn. I replied to the Kellyanne Conways of the LinkedIn universe
Mm-hmm.
with facts. I wake up the next day to an email from LinkedIn saying that I violated their terms of service. I am prohibited from using the platform. That was 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't get back on my now former LinkedIn account.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got their panties in a wad over me telling the truth.
Right.
And my question to them is, have any of the other people been suspended? And keep in mind, I had been begging them to police their platform and not necessarily kick people off, but just say, hey, folks, this is not what we're here for. Let's keep it professional to business.
Okay.
And like I said, if politics of the day from any party, from any politician, in any direction, positive or negative, is actually having a direct impact on your business, all these federal employees that were fired by, as one example, USAID, having no realization that the business they conduct is with so much private business. I know a guy, his company, 90% of their business comes from USAID. What do you think happened to that company?
Mm-hmm.
90% of their people got laid off. And so if they're having a conversation about politics, say, hey, I lost my job. What are you guys experiencing the same thing? Did anybody not realize the fallout from these government firings, terminations, or what have you? That I get. But LinkedIn is not a pep rally. And it certainly should not be used for the disinformation that I was seeing on the daily.
Okay.
It's one thing, opinions are great. We're all entitled to them. We all have them. And just like our asses, some of them stink more than others. But when you're trying to take those opinions and pass it off as fact, that's not a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So needless to say, we're no longer broadcasting to LinkedIn. I'm no longer on LinkedIn. And I actually care a lot less about LinkedIn, especially now that I got this right here, Biz Growth Collective. Go to bizgrowthcollective.com and actually /join if you'd like. And check out that there's 3 different options. There's a free version for folks in Florida. If you're not in Florida, but you do business in Florida, like buying ad spots from Up the Middle and Yerg's Radio, then you can still be on it, but you do need to pay at least $25 a month, which is the minimum membership, or even as high as $50 a month, which is also a good option. I would highly rate. I have the $50 a month one as an affiliate, and I'm telling you everything that I can do with that. I'm sending emails. I don't no longer have constant contact. I'll be sending text messages, all through Build a Space and Biz Growth Collective. I brain farted, sorry. So, again, my 10-minute intro took 25 minutes. And at least you're here enjoying yourself, because I'm certainly not grilling you like I keep saying I'm going to do every week.
I'm loving it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, has anybody told him yet that tariffs are not tax breaks? When I heard, what was it, Navarro said that earlier this week or late last week?
Mm-hmm.
I just started laughing because it's so comical at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We have all of our, and let's say that we are going to have mega decreased inflation. And even though literally every economist in the world says that's not going to happen, or most, to be fair, not literally every, but we haven't talked to literally every, however, that seems to be the direction the opinions are going. But let's say it does decrease inflation. Wouldn't you want to do that with countries that are not our closest diplomatic, military, and trading partner allies? And is there any way you might have handled this differently if you were president?
That's an interesting question. Because first things first is, to your point, I agree. Tariffs are not tax breaks. But what I do want to make sure we get done before tax season or tax day would have been to focus more on keeping the tax cuts in place, making them permanent. I would have prioritized that and get that through right in time for tax season.
Okay, even if
And then I do the tariffs.
yeah, yeah, priorities, right? Okay,
Yep.
I agree with that. Even if that tax break, and when you say tax break, I'm going to make an assumption, and I'll let you clarify it here right now. You're talking about more than just the ones going to the billionaires. You're
Mm-hmm.
talking about that went to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even if you'd still do that, even if it would raise yet again the debt and cause for the debt ceiling to be raised with it, et cetera, et cetera. In other words, your goal right now is to not care too much about the debt, the national debt.
So I would here's how I would segment it though. If you're doing tax cuts, obviously that means the government is taking less revenue because you're cutting people's taxes, right?
Sure.
You're going
Right.
to either have to offset it by one of two ways. You're going to either have to decrease your spending, right?
Correct.
This is where Doge can come in, right? Pause
Yep.
on that one, but just hear me out here. That's where Doge
Oh yeah.
could come in,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Um, or you have to get that revenue from another source, which in this case could be tariffs. So my thought would have been, I would have endeared myself more to the American people. Let's get the tax cuts in place permanent across the board, not just millionaires and billionaires, but across the board. Get that done before tax season in place. That's our main focus. Now that with that goodwill that I've now brought up across the board, people are liking me for what I did. Now I say, okay, we're going to tackle the national debt. We're going to have other countries pay for it. We're going to go about this the tariff way. And we're also going to reduce spending. We're going to invite our friends from Doge to see what we can do there. But at least you have some sort of win that people can point to say, hey, listen, at least the president got my tax bill down
Yeah.
this April.
Yeah. See, here's the thing about the tax cut. I'm forever in favor of not having to pay as many taxes, of course. But here's the thing that wasn't with the one that's about to expire or has already. I'm not sure. But with that tax cut, it came in the part of not taking out as much
Mm-hmm.
during the course of federal income tax and paychecks and so on. Oh, who's that?
Is that your commercial reminder?
No, that is the.
Or was that Morgan and Morgan calling you back?
It was somebody calling. It wasn't still. I haven't heard from Morgan and Morgan in a while. I'm going to have to release that phone call on their website. I haven't done that yet. I got to make a note of that. What happened was people were getting more money
Mm-hmm.
each paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think they've realized it because say you get your refund that everybody looks forward to sometime in April,
Mm-hmm.
which is poor planning on their part,
Mm-hmm.
but that refund would be, we'll say 12, like mine was the one year, $1,200 less roughly, and I'm making the math easy in case you aren't figuring out yet.
Mm-hmm.
$1,200 less than what it was the year before. Well, why is that? Because I didn't pay $100 a month like I did the year before. I paid $100 a month less. But now I'm not getting this $1,200 in my tax refund that I used to pay for Christmas or for a summer vacation. Now that money in that tax refund is $1,200 less, and we've got $1,200 less to spend. So while, yes, they had a tax break and they had that extra $100 a month that they did or didn't see, now they don't have the $1,200 extra in the refund that people frankly budget for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I don't think, caught that until it was too late. Have you seen that? Was that you? Did you put that $100 a month or whatever it was away during the course of the year? Did you already spend it on Christmas? What happens in the Blackett household?
Well, I think at this point we're just trying to pay down debt ourselves.
Sure.
So it's more so we got kids that love toys, but at some point it's probably split between taking care of bills, paying down debt, and keeping the kids happy. So
Yeah, I'll bet you probably have some hefty college bills too, coming out of Harvard and having just recently moved. You got that going on.
oh no, I paid off so I have no student loan debt. I paid all of that off.
Nice.
I didn't depend on
Crazy,
the Biden
crazy Uncle
Supreme
Joe
Court.
didn't help you with that. Okay.
I didn't depend on my Uncle Joe to bail me out. No,
Yep.
not at all.
Yep, we were both going there. All right. So, but you even agreed a couple of weeks ago that ultimately tariffs will likely be paid for by American tariffs levied by the American government will likely be paid, not necessarily, but likely be paid for by American consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So really, what tax break is there?
No, it's not, because if you want that service or particular product from overseas, if the cost is higher, inflation due to the tariff, the business is passing the cost off to you rather than taking it on the chin like a good business.
Yeah.
Then, it wouldn't be seeming like a tax break of anything. It's just an added expense.
Right.
Or inflation, for that matter. But yeah, I can definitely see where that's coming from, for sure.
The other thing that they seem to be commenting on or pushing is that these tariffs are going to force businesses to make their product in the United States.
Insource it. Yep. That's part of the goal I would have as the tariff strategy. That would be part of the goal.
I certainly get that. But when they say that, when I'm hearing, the Commerce Secretary push that, or the Kellyanne Conway 2.0, Caroline Leavitt.
You like her?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's fun. They say it like Toyota is going to move here tomorrow.
Oh, I was actually just looking for the news alert about that. I did see that recently. But yeah.
But the effect of foreign companies building here is not going to happen immediately.
Tomorrow. Yeah, no, I get it.
And in fact, we'll probably be lucky to see it even before the end of Trump's third term.
Okay, I knew you were going there. Okay. All right. All right.
No, you know what? I'm actually not going to go there. I'll tell you why. I know that. Do you think there are legitimate loopholes in the Constitution that would allow him to run for a third term?
I think the level of resistance that would just come out the woodworks.
I thought it would come out of the woodwork after January 6th.
I think it would step beyond January 6th if anything of that liking would happen.
Yeah.
So
it just to me
for that reason, I'm thinking it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I'm hoping, and we're seeing some Republicans step up now, and even about that, um, about the impeachment of judges, which I didn't talk about in the chat earlier today, but if we have time, I'll get your thought on that too, because that's part of it. That's actually part of the censorship story that we need to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I gotta tell a story because I think I've screwed the pooch on it already, so I might as well tell the story because people are going to get and if not, then clearly the subject matter of the story has a good enough professional attitude and or sense of humor
Mm-hmm.
that it won't bother them. It's easy to see over on Instagram. Shout out to Caesar, super fan, checks in on Instagram. And speaking of super fans, I've been ignoring Ken here in
Ken.
the comment. Good morning back to you. Mastercoin. Yeah.
I like it.
Uh, uh, and yes, he's asking, is there an up the middle Substack? Yes, actually, there is. I need to find it because I do have an account, and I want to incorporate it. I want to put a blog on my website, which, by the way, you can now use to watch us, like so many other social media platforms, just by going to yergs.com. We are now on yergs.com, the show. I can't believe you used the words smart and Kellyanne Conway in the same sentence. See how good I am? And I made that. I didn't even
Yep.
notice. I worked it in there. Nobody even caught it except for our sharp super fan Ken Williams. And a happy birthday, my Monday co-host Jane Stahl. It's her birthday today, so shout out to Jane. Happy birthday! And no, it wasn't Morgan. It wasn't you. Yeah, I've received some very humorous voicemails, not appropriate for AM/FM radio, from Ken. The not only is a super fan of Up the Middle, but he's the super receptionist at Morgan and Morgan Law Firm, and he's called to check in on me a few times. So the article that I've got from CNN was from 10:30 this morning, about a half an hour before we went live. I can refresh Google. We can bring that up too. Can refresh Google here and see if we got anything new. CNBC is saying that Trump tariffs live updates, final plans in flux as trade partners brace for impact. So I guess it's telling me nothing has been official or released yet. In the meantime, did you follow any of Cory Booker's 25-hour marathon the other day?
The only thing that came up was so my wife asked me when I didn't know about this before. Her main concern was, has Cory pooped his pants yet? Because if he's speaking for 25 hours straight, how in the world is he going about this with soiled pants at this point if he doesn't have time to go use the bathroom?
So here's I looked into that myself. I didn't have to go far. Somebody was talking about it. I don't remember who. But when Strom Thurmond set the record to speak out against civil rights, didn't think we'd see that in a century, but that's what it was.
Yep.
Speaking out against civil rights. And I think he did 24 hours and 18 minutes was the record.
Mm-hmm.
He had to leave one foot in the Senate chamber.
Oh, to still be on.
There was a bucket outside this one side door.
No way.
That he did number one into. And he keep in mind this was in like the 50s.
Yep.
Well, he was 50 years younger, because he's been gone for probably 10, 15 years at least. But he could step into that room by leaving one foot in the doorway and still be considered to be in the chamber, and as such the recognized member on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I noticed with this one, and I don't know if this is a standard for filibuster or if it's a new rule, but he's had various members in there with him to whom he yielded the floor, or had I don't know what the actual terminology is, but I know Liz Warren was up there. Murphy, who I think was from Atlanta, he is an ordained minister.
Mm-hmm.
As he talks about how he flies back every weekend to conduct service at a church, I think in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having various conversations and discussing, this anti-Trump issue and that anti-Trump issue and so on. I'm just glad to see him do it. Records are meant to be broken. I'm sure if I listened to the entire 25 hours, did they make a transcript of that?
Like, what did he talk about? What did he read?
Well, I mean, historically, there are senators that got up there and read the phone book. Philip Blackett, 121 Oak Street, area code 813, blah, blah, blah. And, now that's in the record. I'm not quite sure that I want my phone number being in congressional records unnecessarily.
That is funny, though, because if I did do something like that, I wouldn't read the phone book. I would bring the Bible, though.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to go down 25 hours, I'm at least going to provide something a little more substantial, a little more substantive than the phone book.
Maybe Gone with the Wind, or what's another big one?
Read you the script of Rocky or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So 25 hours. But I mean, he started 7 p.m. Let's see, yesterday it ended. So 7 p.m. Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And went till last night. So, yeah.
So here's my question. 25 hours later, what did this ultimately accomplish?
So, as I understand it, when a bill is put before Congress, there's a clock on it, essentially. There's a time limit.
Mm-hmm.
And something that the House cannot do, that the Senate can, is the filibuster.
Mm-hmm.
If it's opposed so drastically, one member of whoever would be the opposing party, maybe the same party, gets the floor and keeps it. Because in the Senate, there is no limit during debate on how long a member can speak. Now, the thing about debate is that you don't have to be there as a member. So he could be speaking to the clerk, the Capitol Police, and that's it. And that's because, obviously, C-SPAN is there. They'd be speaking to the C-SPAN cameraman and producer and what have you. And if a member so chooses, they can watch it on television elsewhere. Most of these offices have C-SPAN playing, and that's because you want to see what's going on in your chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's these clocks, the old analog clock, like in your classroom in high school, hanging on the wall, and there's these colored lights that light up that are remote controlled. And one means that there's like a vote going on. And then another light means that there's like 5 or 10 minutes left in the vote. And then the third one means there's like 5 minutes left, stuff like that. And so that's like your congressional office, Senate or House, is like a big hub for your administration's activity because your staffers are watching that stuff and everybody's running in and out and whatever else. But and then they've actually got some of them have private offices in the basement.
Mm.
I know I was with Hillary Clinton in her Senate office in the basement, which is like a closet. It's a basement, so there's no windows. But she's got her own desk, phone, couch, everything. It's an office. It's not nearly as big either, for obvious reasons. But that's in the same part as the chamber,
Mm-hmm.
where her office is in one of the actual big office buildings surrounding the Capitol on somewhere else on the complex.
Okay.
So if she's in between votes, she can go down to her basement office and chill out there without having to go all the way back to, I think she was in Russell Senate office building, and then turn around and come back because it took her that long to get there. Now she's got to go back for another vote. Where
okay.
all she has to do is get in and out of an elevator
Mm-hmm.
because it's a members only elevator that she can use to get right back to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So, congrats to Cory Booker. More than 25 hours. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, though. What is the benefit of the.
Filibuster.
I can't type. Is the filibuster useful? Filibuster has proven to be particularly useful to Southern senators who sought to block civil rights legislation, including anti-lynching bills. Really? Wow. Not until 1964 did the Senate successfully overcome a filibuster to pass a major civil rights bill. I don't know that it's making it useful, but okay. A filibuster, from the Spanish filibustero, also known as a freebooter, is someone who engages in an unauthorized military expedition into a foreign country or territory to foster or support a political revolution or succession. Well, that's not it. That's military. Cory Booker is the longest one in history, 25 hours and 4 minutes.
I guess my question is this:
Yeah,
what,
I mean,
like,
your question is
like,
pretty simple, but
like,
it's not.
did it help, like, stop a bill from coming, or stop it from being passed or debated, so it never can come back to the floor, or, and this is just me saying this, was this more of, wouldn't this be kind of nice to upend a known quote unquote racist who had the filibuster record before going against civil rights legislation and having a black man
Yeah,
come up and upend him on the
yeah.
record just to, hey, something nice to note for the day on April Fool's Day, essentially. Joke's
Well,
on you, Strom.
filibusters proved to be particularly useful to. Oh, that we had that one already. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about anything in a filibuster? Senate rules permit a senator or senators to speak for as long as they wish and on any topic they choose, unless 3/5 of senators duly chosen and sworn, usually 60 out of 100, bring debate to a close by invoking cloture under Senate Rule
Mm-hmm.
22.
That's
So it can
super
be shut down.
majority.
It can be shut down.
When was the last time we had 60 senators on one side of the coin?
Just recently for Marco Rubio's confirmation.
Well,
That
that's
was
good.
that was like a 95 or something.
Mm-hmm.
The Senate tradition of unlimited debate has allowed for the use of the filibuster, a loosely defined term for action designed to prolong debate or delay or prevent a vote on a bill, resolution, amendment, or other debatable question.
So I can understand it if you're like basically running down the clock in that in the process a bill that your opposition is running on can't bring that bill up anymore. Like it's dead. Like I can understand that. But if it's something that's like, hey, we just don't talk about it today, we talk about it a couple of days from now, or oh, we can just bring this back up again and go through this again, then I'm thinking to myself, how helpful is this? Especially if you don't have the majority in the chamber.
So, a majority vote, or more than half the votes cast, is a common voting basis. Instead of the basis of a majority, a supermajority can be specified using any fraction or percentage which is greater than one half. Common supermajorities include 3/5, 60%, 2/3, 66.666%, excuse me, and 3/4, 75%. And this one was the 3/5. Yeah. Can a filibuster kill a bill? Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
A filibuster is a tactic used in the United States Senate to delay or block a vote on a measure by preventing debate on it from ending. The Senate's rules place few restrictions on debate. In general, if no other senator is speaking, a senator who seeks recognition is entitled. My voice is drying out. Sorry. If no other senator is speaking, a senator who seeks recognition is entitled to speak for as long as they wish. Filibusters actually work. Even with the new cloture rule, filibusters remained an effective means to block legislation since a 2/3 vote was difficult to obtain. Over the next 4 decades, the Senate managed to invoke cloture only 5 times. So, I mean, let me ask this then. Does a bill have a deadline to be voted on? There it is. Yep. Once the same version of a bill has passed both chambers of legislature, the executive must sign or veto the bill within the bill signing deadline. So there's a signing deadline for the president.
Okay.
If released by committee, the bill is not put on the calendar to be voted on, debated, or amended. The president has 10 days to sign or veto the enrolled bill. Bills always have an effective date noted on the bill text. The only bills that do not have effective dates in the bill are emergency bills. So, yeah. And that's where the filibuster comes in. We are coming up on your time, though. So, say thank you and goodbye to our co host. I promise you, one of these days, I'm going to grill you harder on something, make it a little bit more worth your while.
Oh, this was worth my while. This was fun. We learned some things
Good deal.
about Kellyanne, about Hillary.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun.
Check out Philip's book, newest book, Life After 40. Go to lifeafter40book.com, lifeafter40book.com, or download it via the QR code on your screen right now. We'll leave that up throughout the course of the rest of the day. Yeah, always a pleasure. We'll see you. Are these books still? This is the Amazon link. Is that still live?
Yep, should be still live.
Okay. So the QR code on your screen right now is for his Amazon link and all his other books. And then Life After 40 is now on your screen. Check them both out or hit us up and we'll send the link to you. Philip Blackett, always a pleasure. I'll see you again next week.
See you soon, sir. Thank you.
All right. Yep. See you again. Up next, I'll tell the rest of my censorship story. That was interesting. Well, where I think I'm going to be censored. But I'm way late. So join us on Yerg's Radio if we're about to lose you. YERGZ Radio, or just go to Yerg's, YERGZ.com. And we'll see you there. We'll be back after these words. As soon as I find a commercial. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum at Momentum Fitness. Yerg's on Cameo. That's right. If you don't hear this voice enough, for $5, you can keep it forever. Or forever as long as you can keep a mobile phone or any other recording. Go to cameo.com, which is /book/Yergs or /Yergs/book. Cameo, I think I got it over here too. I do. Yeah, cameo.com/Yergs/book. And schedule your time with me today or whenever you need it. I can answer questions about the Secret Service within reason. Some things I can't answer, you know that. But let me make that determination. You just go ahead and ask. I can read you like I would on a phone call. Tear you up and down. I can answer any other questions. Wish you a happy birthday. Whatever it is, just remember I'm going to run for president someday too, so keep it kind of sort of clean. Go to cameo.com/Yergs/book or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now and schedule me on Cameo today. I've got to get used to looking at one of the clocks that's rolling here when I do that, any of those live spots, because I'm trying to also crack the bones in my ankle. Any of those live spots, because is supposed to be 75 seconds. I know you as a listener think it's only a minute, but we do these live spots and we give a little extra time to the people. And I'm actually in talks with people to buy these now, finally. You can also do that by writing me at, there it is, news, NEWZ, at yergz, YERGZ.com. So I switched to monitors, and I'm not liking it. I put my dashboard up there, and I put the screen that I'm sharing right here, so that when I'm sharing a screen and I'm looking at what I'm reading, it's right here in front of me, and that's not working. I'm, especially today, just talking with Phil and discussing things and looking up there more than here, when I would normally also be looking there, camera. But I mean, this is more radio, so it's not like I've got to be looking at a camera and concentrating on the video portion of it, whatever. So here is the rest of my censorship story. As you all know, we're expanding here. We just brought on WZQR in Pineland, Florida. They've got every day of our show. I think they have some sort of cache as well, some sort of on-demand or library of our past episodes. I don't know if they do that or not, but they do record and replay us over the weekend. So we're actually 7 days a week with WZQR in Pineland, Florida. Now I've learned that I think we're not actually on the radio there, the AM FM frequency that they have, because one of their other online, they have 7 online stations that come under the WZQR brand. All 7 are on internet radio. And then as I understand it, they swap in and out with the different formats for the AM FM frequency. I think it's an FM station. And apparently we are not ranking that high that we also get FM play. But I mean, really, they're advertising for us by putting us on their website. And at the 7th station is their talk station, where we're at. That is WZQR-Talks. The WZQR Talks. And they've got us of like the little blurb of shows that's right underneath that icon. All 7 of their stations are launched through Live 365, which, if you remember from over a year and a half ago now, we tried that station, that server, it didn't work. Mostly because at that time, hopefully they fixed it by now, but at that time, they only gave you one login, and that was the master login. So if you had another DJ that was remote from somewhere else, you'd have to give them your login. Well, I wasn't willing to risk that, especially with Sportcat. Jesus. I know he was in the chat, so I had to fire one across the bow. But we are there 7 days a week. We are live on that channel all 5 days a week, both hours each day, 10 hours a week. Las Vegas, yesterday, we were on Tuesday. We've been on Tuesdays there before, but usually because of some sort of administrative or technical issue that came about. And Mark Hayes, who's really good there, would give us that extra time on replacing a show that was one of their programming extras, not an actual purchased time slot. We're not on the Biz Growth Collective today. because I just had too much to do before the show, and we're still experimenting with that. But we're essentially there 10 hours a week as well in one of their chat rooms. Yerg's Radio, Rainbow Radio, Chatter is another one. We were having some issues with that, so I stopped that till we get some other things figured out. Radio X in Perth, Australia, and really covers the entire country very well. Now also, as of 2 days ago, DNR Studios. Derek and Romaine, we're on a cruise right now. Go to dnrstudios.com to learn more about them. I got to clear on this issue of show notes too. Go to dnrstudios.com and learn more about them. I'm telling you all that because we're still growing. We are still growing. And we're still looking for other stations. Part of what I do during the course of the day is that very search, and night, and whenever. Well, I found us a station in Boston. And I'm thinking Boston, New England, fairly progressive. This should be easy. I listened to a show. It was not progressive at all. And in fact, he was not accurate either. Well, it happened to be the general manager of the station. So when he said that the judge who ruled against Donald Trump had no legal right to do so, well, first I stopped laughing, and that took a little while. But then I typed into the comments, can you even spell Constitution? Because clearly the guy never read it. Because while he's saying that this judge had no standing to rule against Donald Trump, meanwhile, that's exactly his job. It's called the system of checks and balances. Something I'm very much for is balance. Which is why I said this might be good. Let's continue to pursue a working relationship at WCRN in Boston. Well, it continued. The inaccuracies, that is. And so I simply corrected him. Apparently, like I did on LinkedIn. So I finally got to writing them today. Very nice email. I can even share that with you. In fact, I'm going to share his too. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. You need to hear me for this. So we started off with, where'd it go? We started off with a nice, well-written email, I thought. Team WCRN. My eye itches. It's allergy season. Team WCRN. I saw on your schedule that it seems you have an opening at 11 a.m. Eastern. I may have seen a post by Joe. They're all using first names there. By Joe on Facebook as well. But all my online work seems to be running together. I'm pretty sure that was it. And now I know it was. My name is Ross Yerger. I'm a 1995 graduate of Penn State University with degrees in history and political science. I'm also a retired U.S. Secret Service special agent with more than 21 years of service. I've seen and lived what others can only talk about. Since retiring, I've ventured into podcasting and to what is now also a daily radio show. Up the Middle looks at politics and current events from the perspectives of both the right and the left and takes you up the middle. Some days you'll love me. Some, no. We are live from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, weekdays. I know that your opening is only for 1 hour of the 2 hours of my show. But yours would not be the only station that airs only a portion of the show. I wasn't able to study the entire schedule, but maybe eventually the 1 hour show that is at noon could be moved to a different spot, ? Or WCRN continues to cover only the first hour when most of our bigger stories are covered anyway. During the course of the week, I have 4 different co-hosts that join me. On Mondays, I'm joined by Jane Stahl, a retired English teacher from my junior high school. Yes, I was one of her students. She is more on the left side of the political spectrum. On Wednesdays, I'm joined by a Harvard-educated published author, Philip Blackett. Today, this was earlier this morning, he is our only Trump supporter, so we call him the Trump translator. Then on Fridays, I'm joined by a Democrat from Ohio and host of the Daily Crypto News, Matt Deemer, as well as a Republican from Oklahoma and the host of The Homeless Conservative, Blake Fisher. These 4 help create some intense and educational discussions. I recently started as one of the overnight shows at a rock station in Australia. Within the first month, listenership has grown more than 25%. Just this week, my show was picked up by a subscription service called DNR Studios. I'm on 2 terrestrial stations, KSHP Las Vegas and WZQR Pineland. When I wrote that, I forgot about the fact that I'm not actually on the AM/FM, but it's still a terrestrial station. We also broadcast to 5 additional internet stations, one of which is in London, England. So Australia, London, the US, and countless social media platforms. Lastly, you can watch my show at yergs.com. Check us out today if you'd like, and I'll follow up with a phone call after. Keep talking. That's my usual sign-off. Keep talking. Yergs. All right. So he replies back very quickly. I was very grateful for that. And this is what he says. Yergs, thank you for reaching out regarding the 11 a.m. time slot. I am currently considering programming options for that hour. So when I first read that, I thought he was considering like other shows already. And maybe that's the case. But I'm reading that now, and I guess he's more confirming that I'm right. They are looking at options. Okay. Dr. Thompson, who I presume is Chris, this first name email that the website gives, moved on from WCRN in January of last year. So for over a year, they've had inaccurate info for contact info. But he still got it. Well, to be fair to me, I went and found his email somewhere else. Now, maybe he also now has this particular email address. I don't know, but whatever. And I've been overseeing the station's operations since then, which I knew. I knew he had been there. While I'm somewhat familiar with your show, as well as some of your online comments, dun, da, da, I will take some time to review it further. If there's any interest in moving forward, I will be in touch. In the meantime, I appreciate your inquiry and wish you the best. So, professional response. But I just can't help but wonder if, as well as some of you, it's hyphenated. So the sentence I could show this. I'll just make sure that it's not showing his email address. I don't want that going out. That's not okay. I want to look at everything else too to make sure that, let's just do it like this. We'll bring that one screen. There we go. All right. Stop that screen sharing. Now share this window. There we go. Okay. Oh, for Lord. Let's do this then. There we are. Those of you on the radio, I'm adjusting my screen here so you can see everything. So I'm hiding, of course, his email. I don't want you guys flooding him yet. Just keep flooding America on radio. And you see there in the middle paragraph, while I am somewhat familiar with your show, hyphen, as well as some of your online comments. Look, I got to be honest. You were wrong. And I'm not going to let that go unchecked. If I'm wrong, say it. I've admitted I was wrong before. Proudly. Because that's one of the things that makes me unique. That's why we're one of the only shows that publishes our show notes. So and I can't find the post. Of course, I would put that up too. I don't remember where he was. Oh, actually, I think it was on his. Yeah, but I couldn't find his. I'm talking to myself too much here. I was looking for this earlier this morning, and it's on Facebook. When he does his show, Like Us, I'm so happy for my one friend, Travis, was in a really bad motorcycle accident a couple of years ago. Just taught himself how to walk. Yeah. Let me see if I can just scroll up here and there we go. I tried looking for whatever his show is. Oh, there we go. I must have spelled it wrong last time because he was following me earlier. Pages. I thought there was a page for his show is what I want to try to find, and clearly not so much. But I want to try to find the show in the comments. I don't know if he's got like different pages. And he goes, I guess he takes it down because that's from the 31st. Apparently it's not available. I don't know. And I don't know if he's got like, but I mean, the point that I was trying to make was I hope he doesn't make some sort of decision against just simply because I'm going to call out everybody. I call out liberals too. Like, what's his name? Brian Tyler Cohen is a little bit on the clickbait side with some of his titles. And I've said that plenty of times. But what I think
if I saw somebody struggling with luggage, again, that wasn't necessarily my job, but it now is.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know why that came up. It's at my friend's podcast. Glenn and Anthony podcast, No Vacancy Live. It's about the hospitality industry.
My job.
Right.
So I could
Damn it.
move quick.
I don't think this is the page that I was looking at. And I can't find it in my I can't find it in my, what is this, my notifications? Like, he liked your page, because he did. Whatever page I was on at the time. But this is on my profile that I'm on now, so it should have everything. So I'm just wondering, with censorship and where I was going, I've never been censored before until Donald Trump became relevant again. I'm no longer on LinkedIn because of whatever super high standards they've got now. This past Monday, a week ago, that episode was taken down off of YouTube because of something misleading that I said. The episode was comparing the current MAGA movement to the traditional Republican Party. And my opinion is that the MAGA movement, and I guess I didn't make this sound enough of as an opinion to the people watching at Facebook or at YouTube, but I don't think that people like Mitt Romney or Adam Kinzinger or Liz Cheney are the rhinos. For those of you that don't know, rhino, R-I-N-O, stands for Republican in name only. I think the rhinos are the MAGA people. Why? Because nothing they stand for is traditionally Republican. It's not. They don't want to be in Ukraine. They don't want to be in Israel. Hell, Reagan was known for being in Beirut. And for squaring away the now former Soviet Union. Remember that? Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And he did. But no, we're Russia's bitch. Or I should say, Trump is. We ain't. Not here. So, and this Joe Mangiacotti is more conservative. It's not. This is not the right. I know this is not the right profile. Because there was more information about the show on his profile. But I don't see a page. Which again, why would you not have a page for that? But anyway, now I'm guessing that if I'm not going to change who I am or what we do here for anybody. This is why we're growing, is because we're doing what we're doing. I also believe that the fact that we help other shows like Sportcat, who's on in 33 minutes, we help them grow too, is in part why we're developing the following that we're developing. So if he's not going to bring me on to their station because I do exercise free speech, and it's still clean. I mean, yeah, I asked him if he can spell Constitution, but I mean, that's a fair question. If clearly he has not read it. And if he does bring me on, and now this banter back and forth starts, I mean, obviously, it's going to make for great radio. Clearly, I mean, an obvious ground ball would be to have superfan Ken do prank phone calls to a show. Right, Ken? Speaking of Ken, get back into the chat here. I know I'm way behind in the chat. Sportcat's in there. I see him. It wasn't me as Morgan and Morgan. No, it wasn't him calling a moment ago, whoever that was. And Cory, according to Ken, Cory Booker's time was 25 minutes, or excuse me, 25 hours, 5 minutes, and 30 seconds. Congrats again to Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey. And that's a great point that Philip brings out. A black man replacing the record, breaking the record that was set by a senator speaking out against civil rights. Congrats again to him. You can only have water, sparkling water, or milk. Are you serious? Is that something on the floor? Is that a rule on the floor? Or is that what I should be having for my throat? It's all caught online for all the conversations he's talking about the 25 hours of the speech. Yeah, I know they also do some sort of transcript. I'm sure that's got to take forever because I'm sure they also do it, the good old fashioned way, headphones and have at it. Sportcat checking in. It was the best of times and the worst of times. Yeah. Tale of Two Cities. Read from that, maybe. Cory read the letters and info that came from concerned citizens of issues going on. Yeah, I know some of those letters with regards to deportations that took place. He used the sadness and anger in those letters as fuel to keep him standing. Don't doubt that. A lot of members did come to ask him questions to also keep him going per current events dealing with Trump and Musk and other issues. So yesterday and the day before, the filibuster did block something, according to Ken. I think it was something procedural. I don't think it was an actual bigger vote, but it did disturb other proceedings that day for a delay. Yeah, I know that when he came, he was still going in the morning. I heard that comment by somebody that was reporting on it, that if he's still going by noon, other business on the floor will be delayed. His goal, Cory Booker's goal, was to get both parties to understand issues pertaining to gutting Medicare. Yeah, I just don't see why they're going to think that's a good idea. And yeah, we got to start roughing Philip up. Honeymoon's over. Ken says he's going to grill Philip next time he's here. When you guys comment, tell me what you're commenting about. And I don't know what the yup was for. Something obviously I said already that he's confirming, but I don't remember exactly what, because we've just talked about 5 different topics probably. All right. Yeah, I'd really got to take another break and probably refill my coffee too. So let's do one of these first. One of the other things I was doing, or contemplating doing on the schedule, was a live spot, then the commercial, and then a live spot. So Sea Ranch Civic Association, that is a neighborhood group along the Nature Coast. And northern Tampa Bay area. If you're in any of those surrounding counties, really, it's worth the trip. And probably for some of you, isn't much of a trip anyway. Go to mysrca.com. SRCA stands for Sea Ranch Civic Association. Go to mysrca.com. Sign up today. $40 for an annual membership. Will not be a disappointment. The different things that they have on their schedule. Very good social for all ages and all kinds of different activities. We've had our second, we'll soon be having our third farmers market. They're saying that this month, April, they'll be back to the monthly breakfasts on Saturdays. The second Saturday of every month, they would have a breakfast for like $5. Eat white meat, pancakes, and eggs. And it's definitely worth it. Well, with Hurricane Helene at September of last year was the last time we've had it. It was the place to crash. So now it's coming back. I think the president told me that it's going to be April. We'll be doing it again. So go to mysrca.com. Sign up today. This is Up the Middle, Massive Media Network. We'll be back right after this.
What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna. Everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off. You can scream. You can yell. And you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum at Momentum Fitness.
Rumble. We are balanced here. Contrary to what I suspect Joe might be saying about me. Or thinking. We are balanced here. And one of the other platforms, which I find interesting. I had a video taken down that was apparently, on some level, counter MAGA. Yet nothing happened on Rumble. Maybe Rumble really is the free speech platform. Twitter is Elon Musk. No. Go to rumble.com/register/Yergs Media. Remember, Yergs Media is what we were before rebranding. Turn that down a little bit. What we were before rebranding to Mastiff Media, but we had the account created already, so couldn't start over. Go to rumble.com/register/Yergs Media if you're a content creator to get your own account there, or to get all the extras for watching content on Rumble, and just like the upgrade on YouTube or anywhere else. Rumble.com/register/Yergs Media. All right, what's coming up next? What do we got left? I got to check my notes with Phil because I got to remember what we were supposed to talk about. Oh, yeah, Putin. And Happy Liberation Day. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no. Failed deportations. I saw one guy. Have any of you seen this? This is crazy. Guy is on his honeymoon with obviously his new wife. And I guess as they're coming back into the country, she's taken into custody and deported. And if that doesn't suck enough, or if you don't find that at all strange, perhaps when you find out that he still does not regret voting for Donald Trump, a little out of the ordinary. I know if I was his wife, I'd be pissed. But yeah, she's back to wherever. That goes in addition to, we had that couple that was here for more than 30 years. And I get that, these are special cases. Not all of the deportations are like this. I'm not saying that. But perhaps instead of using that man hours and bodies in Doge, willy-nilly firing somebody without doing any research, train these kids to do some research by having them look into the people that they're planning on deporting. Baby, I think the door's open. Do you got to go outside? Well, actually, we got music. So, yeah, we'll leave that up for a minute. I will be right back. I think a puppy needs to go pee. And I'm going to refill my coffee. I'll tell you the rest of this deportation stories when we get back right after this, music. I'll be right back. All right, gang. See how that goes. I'm leaving the door open for the remaining 18 minutes of today's show so they can run in and out. But I hate when the puppy just goes and barks at people. Not okay. So where was I? I did rumble. Shows that we are making an effort, at least to be. Look, right now, I know that I sound very liberal. And the reason for that is the Republicans, the MAGA Republicans, are the ones that are constantly stepping on their dick. No. The Democrats are not perfect, but they're not blatantly disregarding the Constitution. And they don't have their people blatantly saying that a judge that's sticking up for the Constitution is disregarding the Constitution. Which I thought was funny, but sad. Maybe he's saying what he's saying because he's on the radio. Okay. You're getting, whatever. You're getting listeners. Whatever number of conservatives, because he's clearly right-wing. This Joe Mangiacotti is clearly right-wing. And so whatever he's getting that way, that's why I love what we do here, because I'll be a conservative thought one day, a progressive or liberal one the next, but it's all me. There's nothing fake about what I do or say or believe. So anyway, I need to try to reach out. Sportcat, if you're still there, that link that you used yesterday, the day before, same one. But I'll send it to you again if we need it. If you want to tell us what's happening on the Daily Gazette. Boom. Sent to you. And then don't forget can I use the same one that you sent me the other day? Or will it be another one? I figured out that with StreamYard, it's the same one. If I open another, they have different shows that I can click on and create. If I create a new show, it's a new login. It's a new guest login. So I don't do that anymore, because now everybody, the small number of people that are checking in on a regular basis, like you, Philip, Jane, and Blake and Matt, they can all use the same one. They're trusted people. They're not going to, just try to jump in when I'm in the middle of something else without having the purpose of jumping in for something else. Speaking of jumping in, it got to take a moment to wish Jane, who's probably not listening. I hope not. She's got other things to do today because it's her birthday. That's why she's doing something else. And did this stop? Yeah, okay, there we go. I go through and I check our affiliates, make sure everything's going well. I didn't have this one on. This is the one the other day. WZQR was the one that wasn't working. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the same one. Okay. Good. We're on ZQR. That's going well. We gotta check on the ZNR app. Let's see how that's going. You go to DNR studios.com. Check out the website and the resulting app and so on. Just doesn't sound like it's too loud though. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So DNR Studios, Biz Growth Collective wasn't on today. We're finished with K-Shop for the day. So yeah, there they are. Coming up in 12 minutes, Sport Cat will be here with the Daily Gazette. I got to try to keep looking for his, see if he gets back to me here. Sadly, the Dark Knight has passed. This just in. What's this? Oh, wow. Well, Val Kilmer has passed away. Maybe he'll have that news too. Let's bring out Sport Cat. Hey, Sport Cat, you're live if you're with us, if you're there.
Oh,
Kilmer.
wait. Oh, there I am. Okay.
There you go.
Hold on. All right. I had an echo. I'm here.
That might be me, though.
No. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Possible disappointing news in the world of expansion. I don't know if you were listening earlier.
I was in and out.
I found a station in Boston that's looking for an 11 o'clock a.m. spot.
Gotcha.
And so I tune in to give it a listen. And there's a guy who's conservative, who's just, I don't know if he's just misinformed or he's outright lying through his teeth. But he's getting on the judge for ruling against Donald Trump. And he's saying that he has no business making that ruling. And like, meanwhile,
is it the federal judge or the local judge?
I don't know. I probably caught it a little. Well, it must be the federal judge because he made some reference to constitutional authority.
If it's a federal judge, he does, but a local judge can't. It's like your county mayor telling the president, yeah, but if it's a federal judge, you can.
Yeah, they still can. It's just that.
I mean, this is America. Anybody can put an opinion out there, but
yes, that's the point. Is that you can rule against a sitting president in a court, but you can't do anything until he's impeached. That's the whole purpose of impeachment, is to remove them from position, thereby making them eligible to be tried or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think a local county judge can do that. A federal judge, I think so. Yes,
a local can still do it, because think about also what they can and can't do vice versa. Meaning, if you and I are prosecuted for doing something stupid here on the radio by Pasco County, the president can't pardon us for sticking up for him here against, make-believe criminal charges by Pasco County, because he has no jurisdiction there. And likewise, he can't be prevented from any sort of such trial. Now, they can't do anything, again, because they have no jurisdiction as a local government on a federal authority. That's constitutional. That's, federal, state.
Yeah.
They can still rule against him. And if he
I guess technically you're correct. Yeah. I mean, because they were going to hold that in New York. So yeah, I guess technically you're correct.
And should he ever go to that municipality as a private citizen, there might be some things to answer.
True. It's like my stalker. They can't get him right now. He's too far away for extradition. So.
Oh, where's that? I think you told me.
He's in King County, Washington, last I checked. So please come to Georgia and get arrested, please.
Yeah, especially while you're not even there.
Yeah. So, I think Tennessee would probably have something to say about it too. So,
yeah. So I don't know if you saw that, because apparently it's just out Well, actually, within about the past
About
12
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was breaking overnight. Yeah.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah,
I
he
just
had
got
throat
one.
cancer and had
Right.
developed pneumonia and passed away as a result.
Glad to see that he got to be in that Maverick, the Top
Yes.
Gun sequel. That was cool.
And he did a good job in it too. He
Yeah.
really did. They said that I remember reading an article about that, and they said that he stated later that was the hardest job acting he'd ever done out of everything he's done, both physically and mentally, because he wanted to portray the illness, but he didn't want to be a weak person as a leader, military leader.
Right. And
So, but
he did. I mean, that's got to be difficult to be able or to have to portray any role where you can't speak
yeah.
or speak very little, especially for me. But can you imagine that?
No. Well,
That would suck.
Your guest earlier, I saw him just kind of sitting there, and you were like, well, eventually I'm going to let you talk. And 25 minutes later, he's still sitting.
Yeah, he's getting off light. Philip is our Trump translator, and I am supposed to be grilling him. And it just, I think what happens is I try to, here's how I'm taking it type of thing. You tell me if I'm wrong. And he does, like I would do as a criminal investigator. If I'm interrogating you and you're off rambling and, saying at least something making sort of sense, I'm not going to stop you because that's when you say something that I'm going to use later.
Exactly.
Presuming you're grandized and are talking willingly and so on and so forth.
I think he's just a really nice guy.
Philip's a super nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I think he just doesn't want to be mean to you. Whereas I don't mind being mean to you. So.
And that's why I feel bad being potentially mean to him or grilling him hard is because, I don't want to be a dick to the guy.
Sure. None of us do.
I don't understand why he's a Trump supporter, but I don't have to. I'm not the one voting. No. He is.
No, at the end of the day, yeah. At the end of the day, exactly. That's all we can do, any of us.
And I'm not here to convert people. I think people get that. I think people get that impression.
They do get that, yes.
I'm some libtard, and you're an asshole if you're not on my side, and shit like that.
No. They do say that. I will be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's wrong too. And
I try and correct him. I always tell him I said he's a nice guy, even if he is a Democrat. I mean, that's what
I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. That's
I knew that would get you.
That's the one that I love the most.
I knew that would get you.
Told me that too. Yeah, I've been called out a bunch of times before because people
I've been called worse.
Oh yeah, me too, 100%. And that's my point. I've said this. I've actually got a clip of it. Where I don't use that one as much though. I got to find that. There's this clip of me saying when it was just a podcast before we got into radio. Can you believe it's been about more than a year and a half?
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why people want to hear me. I don't understand it.
I guess we both bring, and that's our job, is to bring the interesting and informative stuff to them, not just to sit here and have an ego and a microphone in front of our face.
Yeah.
But so don't forget, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend for all of us, not just me. But coming up next is Sportcat.
That's right. I need you. Please come to the Paranormal Guys with a Z on YouTube. I'm almost monetized. I can actually afford to eat. So please do.
How many do you have?
754 last I looked. Which was
just send them my way. I barely have one.
And that one's me. So
no. One.
Well, no, I would be two because I do my personal account too. So
yeah, no, but I mean, you're talking 754. You're talking about 754 people. I barely have 100 on any of mine, and now I can't even use the one. up the middle was been dinged by YouTube. I tried to get that back, and
What did they do? I didn't hear that.
a week ago I got a video taken down by YouTube. It was the Monday's episode of last week, and Jane and I were talking about how the MAGA movement, in my opinion, apparently I didn't say that enough, in my opinion, are the real rhinos. Rhinos, if you're not familiar, are Republicans in name only, RINO. That's what they were calling other Republicans who were not for Donald Trump.
Yes.
And my argument is that because so many of the so-called values of the MAGA movement had nothing to do with traditional Republican conservatism, that in fact it's the MAGA people that are the rhinos. Well, YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, declared that was misleading. And to be honest, it's a 2-hour episode. And they don't tell me what part of the episode they find, to use the FCC words, objectionable. They just say, we're taking your video down, deal with it. So I appeal it. I'm not kidding you. I barely released my finger off the mouse and it came back denied.
AI doesn't like you.
I didn't have this problem with YouTube or anybody else under Biden, who never said a word about being for or against free speech.
Who owns Google? I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but yeah, I guess
You're correct. Google owns YouTube.
Yes, but I don't know who owns them.
But as far as the, what does David Beckmeyer call them? The tech guys that are the tech bullies or something like that. There's a certain level of younger tech execs that are kind of bullying their way through Silicon Valley. And some of them were at the inauguration. So that's pretty much who. And I believe because of their allegiance to Mango Mussolini.
And you wonder why you got taken down.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. What did I do? Come on, Mom. I didn't eat that cookie. All right. Well, I got to get because my audience is waiting on me, and I'm going to piss off both conservatives. Wait, I don't know what the hell they are. I'm going to piss off everybody today because I got a story about something that's going to piss everybody off. So
good. Well, give us a heads up. What is it? What are we looking forward to?
Well, let's see. Let me pull it up here real quick. Of course, we're going to cover Val Kilmer. Today is Liberation Day, in case you hadn't heard, which I know you have because I'm not. I mean, I'm going to cover it real quick because here's the truth of the deal on that. We're not going to know until something what really is coming out. I mean, he can say a lot of things like, "Yeah, I'm going to be a third term." Okay, we know it's bullshit, but the media just falls for it and eats it up. So I want to wait and see what he really says. I think he just wants a big.
Let me jump in there a second because I've reported on that yesterday or Monday. I forget, but I had this conservative commentator on who has been to like the RNC, and she is saying that's what the Democrats are doing wrong, is that they're focusing on things like the trans issues. Like he's all about. Well, he is all about trans. There's 510,000 student athletes in the NCAA, and there are less than 10 that are trans. Do we really need the federal government to legislate against that, or can we let the NCAA, take over? Meanwhile, eggs are $10 a dozen, almost $1 a piece. But yeah, that they are focusing on the wrong things.
Exactly.
Real issues. But he said that Republicans are doing the same thing. I've said That's what he's doing. Really? You want to
I
rename?
think he's a lot of look over here while I'm doing something over here type of thing.
100%. Absolutely.
I think that's what a lot of it is. So,
and that's where I think you and I come in is him. What is Cory Booker's real objective with the successful filibuster?
I have no idea.
We need
too long to listen to.
Behind. No, I didn't listen to all 25 hours and whatever Ken said it turned out to be. I'll scroll through here a second. 25 hours.
A record.
30 seconds. Yeah.
What I hate about that, and I'll probably get hate mail for this, but they attach it to his racial ethnicity, set a record.
I was just going to say that I love that about it was that the previous record was strong.
Yeah, but well, I can see comparison there.
A senator, only a senator can do it. You can't filibuster in the House. You're limited. But the previous record holder was Strom Thurmond, who set that record by speaking out against civil rights.
Oh, see, that's bullshit. But okay.
I don't know what you say to speak out against civil rights for 24 hours, but he did it.
I'm stupid. How many times can you repeat that? So
yeah, exactly. And now a black man broke that record. I think that's awesome.
Okay. In that context, I'll agree with you. But it's like, well, like in NFL when Doug Williams was the first black quarterback to go to the Super Bowl. No, he's a quarterback. They kept calling him quarter black. He was a great athlete. I just hate people. I hate being put in that little box.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to come out and say, look, that fat white guy did this, because that would kind of offend me. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm catching up to you. So you'll start better every day.
Mom's cookies are great. So yeah, we'll probably piss off some Canadians today. Let's see. We're going to cover Mayor Adams. We're going to cover ICE. So we're going to piss off people on both sides of the aisle on that one. Then we're going to talk about some suicide deaths in the military. Then we're going to hammer some people that are just so anti-Tesla, which I think is stupid. They're not hurting the president. And you're really not hurting a billionaire. But whatever.
The other thing about that, I think they've made their point. Tesla sales are down 13%, which is significant.
Yeah.
That's a chunk.
But why are they firebombing in Italy where it has nothing to do with the United States? And it's a terrorist act over there. I mean, that's stupid.
A terrorist act here. And
well, yes.
I think this is just another excuse for the Justice Department to weaponize itself against people, although this is actually a good one because it's a crime. A crime is a crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crime's crime.
I doubt highly. I mean, we're already 6 minutes into your show. I'm not going to trip anymore.
We can bitch later offline. Yeah. Wait a minute, I can't say that on FM. Sorry, FM.
Are you on FM?
No, I'm not. I'm not live anywhere except where you got me live right now. Okay. I haven't pushed any buttons.
That's something else I wanted to do. Is, I mean, you can't go live through Mix because I'm still on it, but I want to try to figure out a way where we can do this handoff, and you can have your Streamlabs set up ready.
It is.
And then join me on a separate tab on my case, Restream. But you can add your channels to mine. So I think you can add like 2 channels. So if you're on 2 YouTube channels or 1 Facebook and 1 YouTube, add them as you're transitioning over. Use a transition word. As you're transitioning over to be a woman.
Whoa. Fat white guy here. Calm down.
Talk that down and cut that feed.
Gotcha.
So by the time you go live on your own StreamYards feed, the one from here is going to be cut. It's going to be done. And you'll be able to go live there and live on...
I think the best way for me to keep your audience is I need to be live on your YouTube channel. One of them, whichever one.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to do is give you administrative authority on Talk TV 24.
Okay.
Do you have any spots left for destinations to stream to?
Yeah, because they kicked all the groups off of. They got into that Facebook war, so I got plenty
Yeah.
left.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll get you on Talk TV 24,
Okay.
and I guess maybe like the Yerg's Radio, or however many you want. Yerg's Radio, Talk TV 24 page. The Facebook ones. Whatever else, however many
Because
you got.
I know I had some of your viewers for a while, and I apparently said something in the beginning of March because I saw a dip. It's something I must have said to piss off a Democrat. So yeah, I lost like 5 people.
Not all of my viewers are Democrats.
So well, I must have lost 5 people for something stupid I said. But here's the thing: I'm going to say something stupid every day. Just put a microphone in front of me and you'll record it. So
that's what I said before you came on. I was reading the email that I sent to this guy in Boston. And I said,
yeah, I caught part of that.
My catchphrase is, yeah, no. Like Brian Tyler Cohen, his is, got it. He's saying sarcastically. My sarcastic response is, yeah, no. In fact, I even found a T-shirt that says that at Walmart. So I even said in that email, one day I'm going to piss you off, or one day you're going to like me. The next day, yeah, no. So I got a chance to use it in my email where I'm probably going to get shot down by CRN in Boston.
Well, there's other fish out there.
Reference to Tale of Two Cities too earlier. Best of times and worst of times.
Well, yeah, you were saying what all could he read, and I was like, hey, Charles Dickens. It's long. God, is it long? So,
right. Oh, there's
all right. Well, I got to get out of here. My chat's going to be pissed off at me. So,
yep.
As a matter of fact, I think they already are. So,
I'll see
much
you.
Much love, brother.
All right. Send me a link. We'll try to do it the reverse way too. I'll join you at 5 over 10 up whenever you want me.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
We got a lot of weather to talk about too, so come over and get some real weather because we're all about to die. So
yeah, I tried that. That was a disaster yesterday.
I know. I caught it, and I'm like, "What is he doing?"
Weather for that, dude. That was awful.
It's science, man. I know. Big words are hard for you.
I'm gonna kill the radio feed so you can pick up mix right away. Ready?
All right. I am live. Well, wait. Yes, I am live on Yerg's Radio. Come over to yergsradio.com and then come over to where the hell am I? Paranormal Guys. 3 words, guys with a Z. Good Lord. Yeah. All right. Let me get out of here. My chat's going crazy. Right, you can jump in my chat.
All right, everybody. I'll see you in an hour and 45 minutes or so. All right.
See you, brother. Bye.
Have a good show.
I got to push a button too. Holy cow. How do I get out?
Yeah, there you go. All right, everybody. So that is it for us. Thanks for joining. Thanks for going up the middle. Thanks for getting off the porch and running with the real big dogs. Hopefully, Boston becomes one of them. I'll see you for Mastiff Media Magazine in about an hour and 48 minutes or so. Right here. Right back. Sportcat's up next. Check him out. See ya.